How did this knife come into being at all? You should understand I'm quite a sophisticated person, so I go to his Instagram and it would be great to make some knife in this diver style. Actually, this is a powerful working knife, made with a straight-through hidden tang. There are some doubts whether legally this is a melee weapon. But the makers should make special attention to the sheath, and we were able to make them a little cheaper than we were planning to initially. What does it have to do with the Celtic Cross, you would ask? Hello guys. Not so long ago, there was a big special project on our channel dedicated to freedivers and scuba divers' knives. There's a link in the corner of the screen if you haven't watched it yet. All of this is definitely very interesting and useful knowledge, but no matter how attractive all this underwater movement is, we should understand that unfortunately there won't be so many people who are fond of diving. And for many of us, diving knives will be just another clip on the Berlogga channel. I thought it's not fair. I myself was a big fan of diving, so I want as many of our subscribers as possible to get in contact with it. So here we go, a great, amazing fixed knife in the diving style, but for the use on the surface. That's a knife for everyone who'd like to get a little closer to the depth of the sea. First of all, I'd like to tell you how this knife came into being. Do you remember Pavlova, the city of knife makers? We made another special project for it. There's another link in the corner of the screen, please take a look if you haven't. So in that trip to Pavlova, we filmed the biggest knife makers of the city. But of course, one trip was not enough to cover all of the knife makers. I'd rather say we showed you the biggest ones, but some smaller, maybe private workshops were not covered. And then one of such workshops contacted me on Instagram. Actually, it was a separate master, Alexey Timofeyev. He said, guys, I'd like to make a great knife for you, let's discuss it. So I went to his Instagram and I got impressed. You should understand, I'm quite a sophisticated fellow in this regard. I see many knives every day and it's hard to impress me. But Alexey's works are really awesome. I say, Alexey, let's try it. Now we're making a special project about diving knives. That's when we were preparing to film the diving knives from the Campo brand. And it would be great to do some knife in this diving style. Alexey said, okay, not a problem, but he warned us that it's gonna be his own author's vision. I said, fine, let's do it. And this is the knife he made. So let's talk about it in more detail. What kind of knife it is? It's a powerful working knife made with the straight-through hidden tang technology. That's when the tang of the blade goes through the hole of the handle and is fixed in the end of the handle with a pommel. Actually, the straight-through hidden tang is a special feature of this master. He makes all his knives like that. And another trademark of Alexey is that he only works with powdered steels. And this diver's knife uses AM390 steel. The blade of this knife resembles the diver's knife only remotely. It's more of a military knife. Straight edges, going 2/3 of the blade, are decorated with a small recurve, which will improve the cutting properties. The false edge helps with stabbing, and the small part of the back, which is left straight, helps with putting the thumb on it if you need it. The blade is not mirror polished, and I really like it. Actually, the blade has an interesting matte finish that doesn't leave fingerprints. And it shows that it's not a shelf knife. I really appreciate it. The blade is finishing with a small choil that goes into a strong and powerful front guard. I think it may even be classified as a melee weapon legally, but that's a designer's tribute to the diver's knives. The handle is what shows the diving theme the most in this knife. But if you take a regular diving knife, there's no question of ergonomics at all there. While this beauty is really nice to grip. Alexey, the maker of this knife, is a great fan of making great handles for his knife. And you can see that, you can feel it. When you hold this knife, you don't want to let it go. This handle is made of stabilized Karelian birch, and it's not as simple as it may seem at first glance. Do you see these black inserts? These are not cutouts. These are inserts made of G10, and each of these is hand cut. Each G10 insert and each Karelian birch insert also, hand ground. Amazing work, and it's all finished with a bronze pommel with a lanyard hole and an exclusive lanyard bead. We'll talk about it later. Now the sheath. I've always been saying in each of my videos that, in my opinion, the sheath is the face of every knife, and the makers should pay special attention to the sheaths. And just take a look at this. Stitching, the leather, the ornament, the coloring, the drain hole. And the knife goes really nice into the sheath, and it stays there. You're not gonna lose it. And it all fits so nicely that the knife will not cut through the sheath. That's quite an often problem. But what does it have to do with the Celtic cross, you would ask? That's the most interesting part. Another trademark of Alexei is his penchant for mixing the styles and cultures of various nations. And since Alexei is quite a religious person himself, in this knife he decided to mix the Celtic and the Orthodox Christian crosses. As Alexei says, I owe my gift of knife making to the Lord, and I like to show my gratitude to the Lord in my works. Alexei doesn't mass produce his knives. In essence, each of his knives is a unique work of art, but he can repeat each of them if you order it, including this one. Now about the name, Alexei decided to call this one the Warrior, because the blade resembles military knives the most. To me, it doesn't seem like the best name, because it doesn't speak about the essence, the spirit of the knife, the diver's knife. And of course, I understand that all of you are waiting for me to tell you about this bead. My friends, it's an exclusive lanyard bead from the Burloga channel. We'll only make 30 of these to celebrate 100,000 subscribers to our channel. We've been working on this bead for a long time. We've had this idea for quite a while. That's a work of jewelry. It personifies our channel. And we were able to make them a little cheaper than we were planning initially. In the description to this video, I will leave a link to our website. You can read about these lanyard beads in detail there, and you can pre-order them. And the most important thing, each bead will have its own number, so you can pre-order your own number there. And also, in the description to this video, I will leave all the contacts of Alexei Timofeev. To my mind, he's just an amazing master, a man with a magic touch. I'm really glad that I was able to get to know him, and I wish you get to know his knives too, really, in practice. And that's it for now. Have a good one. See you online. I've been connected with knives almost my whole life. I was working in big companies for Alexander Cheburkov, Andrei Birykov, but a year and a half ago I opened my own workshop. A knife for me is not the means of existence. A knife is my favorite work that I really enjoy doing. And the more complicated is the knife I have to do, the more excited I get. When I'm working on my knives, I allow small defects. I'm an artist, and I'd rather see the big picture. When you see my knife, you should want to take it in your hand. And when you do take it in your hand, you should feel comfort in your hand and the strength in your heart. Alexei Timofeev.